You're watching Ask the Expert. I'm Greg Kirkham, and today I'm joined by Jonathan Gibbs. If you haven't met Jonathan or heard of Jonathan, he's a top leader in the AI space based in Alpine, Utah. Welcome to the show, Jonathan. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate that.
So let's dig right in. What inspired you to get into AI?
Yeah, I building huge sales funnels. I got into sales when I was 17, went into direct sales in my early 20s, managing huge sales force and creating automations, making simple tasks that we have to do regularly, repeatable and scalable is kind of what got me down that track. Started with automation and experimenting with a lot of things that predated ClickFunnels, and then ClickFunnels, building large sales and marketing funnels for massive scaling. In my late 20s, I built the second largest phone company in Australia with some really basic systems that were built out in Excel, actually. And then, in 2014, 15, 16, really got into ClickFunnels, sales automation, lead automation, and decision tree, where we could take an inbound lead, and by predicting a wide variety of what their questions and answers were, we kind of created kind of a really dumbed down version of AI, more like a choose your own adventure book, where it was like an if-then decision tree. Customers could ask a question, and if it was a question that we predicted they would ask, they would get one of several answers, and the conversation could grow and progress. And we would have a lot of low-tech automation in our marketing funnel. And this, of course, kind of culminated into natural language processing, where you're running multiple software programs to basically mimic a human conversation. In 2020, 2021, I launched, I think, the first AI campaign in solar for my solar company in 2021 with a company called Actify that was using natural language processing, I think 9 different computer programs running together. It's about a year before ChatGPT 3 sort of became like public knowledge in October of 2022. And then, of course, large language models changed everything, because it made the storage access of data and the mimicking of human conversations through those large databases much better, like a much better experience. And so we looked at buying an AI company in 2022, and then all of a sudden large language models are out, and it was really easy to build your own AI agent on top of that. And so I've been really focused on the agentic AI space since October 2022 until current. And agentic AI is really just a simple way of saying, creating an agent that can perform like a human in certain tasks. The tasks that I focused on were email tasks, texting tasks, and then later even voice tasks.
Wow. And so for the AI solutions that you put into place, are you pretty industry agnostic, or do you have any specific niches that you like to focus on?
Yeah. So, the core use of AI right now, I think, is like data interpretation. Like data exists really in 3 buckets. What, so what, now what? What is all the data, right? So what does it mean? Now what is, what do we actually do about it? I had a good friend in home defense, and he used to share with me that less than 1% of all of the data regarding threats of US soil were even able to interpret in real time. And today that's changed, where 95% of that data is interpreted in real time. What does this mean? What should we do? And so data analytics is really, if you look at a large language model, it's basically data analytics. The big companies, IBM, Google, Microsoft, really focused on data analytics, like interpreting data and even suggesting what the next most logical action is on that data is primarily the use case. Because my background was sales and marketing, I've really spent the last 3 years in I guess, trying to create the best salesperson on the planet, the best sales experience on the planet. I believe that AI has the ability to service humans 24/7 in their needs, and make the buying experience fun again. So that's really where I focus. Like if you think about automotive sales, for example, most people do not enjoy going and buying a new car. Like the idea of buying a car, right, is really exciting. Like the idea of, having the new car is really exciting. But like a lot of people between 20 and 60 plus kind of loathe the process of going, taking your old car to a car lot, getting it valued, trading it in, and then staying there for like 4 to 8 hours and sort of being hammered on at one time. And it's our money today in 2025. Like consumers should really enjoy spending their money. And so I really focused last 3 years on, making the buying process really enjoyable again, using AI texting, using AI voice. So, giving people the quotes they want when they want it, giving them the information they want, basically putting the consumer in control again of the data regarding their purchase. Where a lot of times when we go to buy a car or a sauna or maybe a new roof or a solar system, the salesperson or the sales company, they're actually trying to control the process. All their training, all their systems is to control the process so they can control more favorable outcomes with them, which is really a sale. When the reality is, we should be focusing on the customer's needs, the customer's focus. And if we have a good product with a competitive price, customers should choose us. And so that's really been my core focus with AI over the last 3.5 years is using AI to make the lead nurturing process favor the customer and to make the transaction process favor the customer so that not only can companies grow their revenue, but they can grow better revenue that sticks, that doesn't cancel, that's not upset, that was highly educated as to what they were going to get post-sale. Creating a better experience for the customer will ultimately long-term result in a better experience for the company selling the product or service.
Well, you're doing an incredible job at it. You're doing great things. It's such a pleasure to be able to sit down with you and hear a little bit more and get to know you a little bit more too. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on the show today. To learn more about Jonathan Gibbs and all the wonderful work that he's doing, visit asktheexperttv.com.